Hey, what's up my fellow collectors? Jim here with another figure review. And today I'm taking a look at the DC Multiverse 2-pack Flash figure. Now this is showing the comic book Flash along with the new movie, the Justice League movie Flash. This is a Target exclusive, I believe, and I was actually really surprised to even see this at my Target because my Targets, all the areas around me are pretty bad as far as getting new things out. But it was cool to see, definitely picked it up. This is the packaging. It's kind of follows the same theme as the other DC Multiverse figures. You do have the open window. You can see both figures. The top does say DC Comics Multiverse. We do have a cool image of the comic book Flash, and it says from page to screen. And then an image of the Justice League Flash. The bottom is basically that stuff. On the one side, you do have the image of the Flash. A little bit of a read-up there. On the other side we do have some comic book art of the comic Flash. It just says the Flash DC. On the back you got the DC Multiverse showing the same images again on the back. You got the DC. So very, very cool. But let's pop these out and take a closer look. Okay, and here they are out of the packaging along with all of the accessories. In the 2-pack we do get a little bit of accessories. So that is nice. It is a lot of reuse stuff. We do get the bases that we have seen before. So for the Justice League Flash, we get the kind of updated Flash symbol there, looking pretty cool, just kind of printed on. And then for the comic Flash, we do get the kind of old school Flash logo. So that's cool. And then with that, we do have the slots for the cards, which come taped to the, inner flap. And we do get two pretty big cards, the one yellow, one blue. We get the lightning bolt effects. On the other side, we have just the other colors. So we have yellow on this side and blue on the other side. And you can stick those into the base. Now, along with the comic Flash, we do have this lightning effect. And these are all soft. But this is cool. This is kind of like what we saw with Zoom. But this time we can actually just peg it into his back. So it's not glued onto the back like Zoom was. So you can just kind of port this into his back. Gives you some lightning effects coming off the back, so that's pretty cool. We do get two other yellow effects with him, which we've seen these before as well. But they're done pretty nice, and you can pretty much clamp these around the wrist or around the legs, however you would like to do that. So that's pretty cool. So we get yellow with the comic Flash, and then we get blue with the Justice League Flash. It's kind of like a bluish, kind of purple look, but they're pretty cool. And same thing, you can just kind of, clamp these on wherever you would like on the figure. Along with the Justice League Flash, we do get a pair of wide open hands. And these are done pretty nice. A little bit of sculpt in there. So that is cool, and it's just a peg. There's no hinge. And of course he comes with the kind of straight on, running or karate chop hands on the figure. Now let's take a closer look at the comic Flash first. Oh, and then of course, which I forgot to mention, the unmasked head. And this turned out, okay. I'm sure this is the big reason why a lot of people are going to want to get this 2-pack. It's not too bad. The sculpt is kind of there, but I don't really think it looks like the actor very much at all. It kind of does from the front. It'll work. The skin tone is nice. The paint is, what we're kind of used to. It's not the best thing in the world, but the sculpt of the hair is pretty good. So, it's not too bad for what it is. It will work. Now taking a closer look at the comic Flash, he turned out pretty good. I believe we've probably seen this body before with older figures, but the face is done pretty good. We get some nice blue eyes. The skin tone is nice. All of the lightning bolt line work on the costume turned out to be pretty good. It's done fairly clean. The little Flash ears are kind of like a kind of an ugly like mustard yellow color, so I don't know how I like that, but it's not too bad. Same with the lines; it's almost like a gold or like really like dark kind of mustardy color. but it turned out nice and clean on the paint. The white looks good, and that's all the way throughout the body. The boots, we have a little bit of sculpt work on the boots, so I do like that. The bottom of the boots look pretty cool. We do have peg holes on the bottom, and this time with the bases, this does work a lot better than like the Super Friends Batman that we got. It didn't really hold on there. These do kind of fit in there a little bit better, so that is nice. And I do like this Flash's kind of proportions a lot better than like the Walgreens Flash that came with the Atom figure. That one just really like kind of looked very, very unproportioned with the big huge feet. So I mean, this one doesn't look as bad. So I mean, not bad for what it is, you know. Not bad for what it is at all. Pretty cool looking Flash. And for his articulation, we do have nice movement in the head. You can swivel it. You can actually get him to look up, which is really nice. You know, he can look down. You get a little tiny bit of pivot side to side, just a tiny bit. You do have the swivel and hinge at the shoulder. Comes out about horizontal. We'll swivel all the way around. You do have a bicep swivel in there. Just a single bend at the elbow, so that's a little disappointing because you're not even really getting 90 degrees. And then you just have swivel, so no hinge at the hands. You do have the cut in the midsection, so it gives them a little bit of a crunch forward, a little bit of a crunch back, a little better going back. You do have the waist rotation. You got the ugly, you know, DC Multiverse hips, so you get the splits out of that. You get that much forward, that much back. You do have a cut right here, kind of like above the knee for a thigh rotation. Single bend at the knee. And then for the feet, you just have the hinge, which will bring it back. And that much forward. That's it. No rotation, no ankle pivot. Which is disappointing because to get him in a decent kind of running pose, you know, you need that pivot because he's just not going to be able to balance himself. But the fact that they gave us some up and down movement with the head, that definitely helps. So you can kind of get him looking forward. But the fact that, I mean, you can kind of use that thigh swivel, but then you're breaking the sculpt and he's still hard to balance. So luckily you can kind of get him on the stand, and that stand will hold him up a little bit, but as you can see, he's leaning, so he's going to fall eventually. But that is the comic book Flash. He turned out to be not too bad, you know, pretty good. But let's get into the Justice League Flash, because I'm sure that's what everybody wants to see for the most part. And taking a closer look at the Justice League Flash, it is the same exact sculpt and mold of the other figure. The difference comes with, they use like a translucent plastic for this guy. So you kind of have a translucent red color all throughout it. So that is nice. At least it's not the exact same figure. Even though it is different in the regards of that. And of course we get the different hands, and of course we get the unmasked head sculpt. But I mean, the kind of translucent plastic doesn't look too bad. You know, it does make it look a little bit better, a little bit different. I kind of prefer the other one better. But the head sculpt looks good on this one. It makes it look a little bit more plain with the translucent red on the head portion, you know, compared to the other body where you have this kind of like black shading and all the silver lines. But the skin tone looks alright. Eyes are painted on there well enough. Of course, you know, the outfit looks really, really cool. Nice detailing and sculpt work all over, you know, different textures and patterns, and those silver lines came out really, really good. And as far as his articulation, it's basically the same. You don't get any up and down movement, so that's unfortunate, you know, but you do get, you know, swivel. You get a tiny little bit of pivot. You do have the nice range with the hinge of the shoulder. That swivels all the way around. You do have the bicep swivel. You have a single bend at the elbow, which is horrible. I mean, you get no range out of that whatsoever. Of course, the hands do swivel. You have that cut, which again doesn't give you really any range going forward. You get a tiny little bit backwards. You do have the swivel at the waist. You have really nice hip joints. I don't know why they can't do that for all of the figures, but you get that much range going out. Get a kick up about that much. Kick back good amount. Do have a cut here for a thigh rotation. You have double jointed knees, so that's a little bit, but you still only get about 90 degrees out of that. You do have a hinge for the foot. Brings the foot back forward really good, and that's it. No swivel. And as far as the unmasked head, it looks pretty good on the figure, I will say. It looks good. It doesn't look too bad. I tried getting the Flash head off of the first one that we got, and I just couldn't get it off mine. I mean, I'm sure if you heated it up, you could put the unmasked version on the other one, but I mean, you'd have to heat it up. I know the hands will switch through, but these hands are loose on the other Flash figure. But as you see, it looks good on the figure, proportion-wise. It's not too big, not too small. It does work and does look pretty good, you know, overall. So that is cool. And it doesn't look too bad up here, like around the neck area. So it definitely works. Now, as far as comparison, as you can see, it's pretty much the same figure, but we do have the translucent plastic over here that brings out the red. But I don't know, something about this figure just looks better because you kind of have the different paint shadings all throughout it. And with the costume color itself being painted on, it just makes it pop a little bit more. As this looks a little bit kind of dull. But I guess it's all more or less, you know, preference on, you know, what you like. I just think that this one pops a little more, especially in the helmet, you know. It just looks so much, the details are brought out more with the painted sculpt, you know. But you can pop the hands off of this Flash and like put one of the style pose hands in there. It will peg in, and of course it'll rotate. It's a little bit loose in there, but you can. But like I said, I mean, I tried, I just couldn't. I'm gonna have to heat this and pop this off, but I'm sure you can, you know, pop that off and put this other head on this Flash if you wanted to. But yeah, guys, that's it. I mean, you know, it's a decent little 2-pack set. They both, you know, both of the Flashes are done, you know, fairly well for DC Multiverse, you know, not too bad. I do like the fact that at least it's not the same exact figure, you know. There is a slight difference. Like I said, they used that translucent plastic for the new Flash. But just some comparisons. Here's like the DC collectible show Flash figure. And then here is the Zoom. So that gives you a little comparison as far as what they will look like on the shelf. But yeah, that's the review, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you guys on the next figure review. Take care.